After 13 years of lifting, I've tried just about every type of workout program there is. Especially during the early days, like many, I tried all kinds of stuff, trying to find the best / most efficient way to build muscle and strength. I started with the good old-fashioned bodybuilding split, then switched to a push-pull legs kind of split, but about 9 years ago, I started doing a little research. And there is a lot more on this topic now. The most recent study I found was from 2025, and this one is a meta-analysis, which is basically a study that studies. Is there too much of a good thing? Took a look at 67 studies, and they found the maximum amount of effective sets per workout was 11. Any sets after 11 brought little to no additional growth. Also, if you look at the graph they created here, looks like you start hitting a point of diminishing returns at around 5 sets. And you get the majority of your gains with just 2 to 4 sets. Now, when I initially read that, I realized something. There's little point in doing any more than about 5 sets per body part per workout. I went, well, I may as well train a bunch of different body parts. I structured my first full body program like this. I selected 9 body parts, put them in groups of 3. I then trained 6 body parts per workout in rotating order. Now, why do I rotate the order? I do this because the muscles you train early in your workout will see better benefits than the muscles you train later. And this is a good rule of thumb for you. Whatever your most important muscles are, always train them first. Now, since this program is aimed at general muscle growth, we are rotating which muscles get hit first. Now, here's what all of this looks like when you put it together into a full-on muscle growth routine. Starting off with workout 1, day 1, we have the barbell bench press. Now, you can also do this with dumbbells. If you just aren't strong enough to use the bar, that is totally fine. Just make sure you're getting a nice full range of motion. And this exercise is, of course, primarily for the chest, although you're going to get a little bit of extra front delt and tricep work. You might have noticed I didn't have the front delts in our list of body parts, and that's because they're going to get trained with all of your chest work as well. We are supersetting that exercise with either a chin up or a pull down. Whichever one you prefer, or whichever one works better for you, whichever one you're strong enough for. I lean more towards the chin up, but if you're not quite strong enough for that, go with the pull down. Now, I also wanted to quickly show you kind of how supersetting should work. So you finish your first set, and then you're gonna give about 1 minute, a minimum of 45 seconds, but probably more like a minute. Let your heart rate go down, so you can give a maximum effort on the next exercise. And while you're training the exercise, which here the chin up for the lats, while you're training the lats, your pecs will be resting. So you can get way more done way faster. Our next exercise is the calf raise machine. I didn't have a machine to record on, so I'm doing this here with a Smith machine, but either way is just fine. And obviously we're hitting the calves with this one. Our next exercise, the leg extension. Now I have this pad here specifically to help extend the range of motion on the leg extension. Don't pay too much attention to that. We're just trying to hit our quads here. Make sure you get full extension, get a nice contraction in the quads at the top, and go as low as you can without the weights touching back down. Our next superset will be the tricep extension / skull crusher, and we are doing that alongside a bicep curl. Quick word on the way this was structured in the initial list of exercises a bit earlier. You might have noticed it says A1, A2, B1, so on and so forth. A1, A2, if the letter is the same, that means that you're supersetting those exercises. So if you see A1, A2, A3, you're doing all 3 of those exercises back to back. And once you finish A3, you go back to the top at A1. Just quick side note. Workout number 2. Barbell back squat. Make sure you are hitting at least parallel. If you can go below parallel without rounding your back, then go lower, but make sure you're hitting at least parallel depth. And this is going to hit our quads and of course our glutes as well. You might have also noticed I didn't have the glutes in our 9 body parts, and that's because they will get hit with hip extension, which is present on both squats and deadlifts, which we have in this program. So no real need for additional glute work. Alongside our squat, we have the overhead tricep extension. You see I'm not going into full extension at the top. I'm shortening the range of motion a little bit here to keep a high amount of tension on that stretched position. It isn't incorrect to go all the way up though, however. Just something that I do when I do this exercise. And your third exercise in this giant set is the hammer curl. This will train the brachioradialis, the muscle that tucks just under your bicep. Your next group of exercises will be the hamstring curl. Now you can do a laying hamstring curl or a seated hamstring curl. Again, all I had to record on was the seated, although I think the seated is the better option. If you don't have one, laying hamstring curl is just fine. Now what I'll have you do is bring your dumbbells over to the seated hamstring curl or the laying hamstring curl, and we're going to superset that with a full lateral raise. So once you finish your hamstring curl set, hop up, give it again 45 seconds to a minute, and then you're going to perform this exercise here. Now you can rotate your hands if this bothers your shoulders. That might take a little bit of the stress off the joints. I tend to point my palms directly out, but this will train both the side and the front delts really well. And for the rear delts, our third exercise in this giant set, the rear Delt Fly. Again, you can do this right next to your hamstring curl machine, so you don't have to walk back and forth in the gym. Again, I always try to program things to where they'll be more efficient and you can get a lot more done more quickly. Quick side note, if you want to get more specific form advice on any of these exercises, you can find our simplified exercise playlist in the description. I've gone through dozens, maybe over 100 exercises at this point. So if you're not sure how to perform any of these and you want more specific advice, that's the place to look. On to our final workout, day number 3. We're starting with the stiff leg deadlift, and this will train your hamstrings and glutes. One concern you might have with this style of programming is resting a body part. You've probably heard that you need to give a body part a week's worth of rest before training it again. Doesn't seem to be the case, especially if you're doing 3, 4, or 5 sets instead of the 12 to 15 that many people will do with the bodybuilding split. So you will be just fine training these muscles on back-to-back days. And we are supersetting the stiff leg deadlift with a regular lateral raise. Now, on this exercise, I would recommend, you see me going all the way back to my thighs. If you want to kind of crank up the difficulty, get a little more out of it, stop just short of going all the way back to your thighs to keep some of the tension on that lateral deltoid. Next exercise is for the rear delts, the back of your shoulders, the face pull. So you'll use a cable for this one. If you don't have a cable, just use a band, and same rules apply. Go all the way to the floor, have the cable or the band at a high point, and then pull to the bridge of your nose, hence the name face pull. You'll superset your face pull with the push-up, good old-fashioned. If a regular push-up is too difficult for you to get 3 sets of 10, then perform this from the knees instead of the toes. If a regular push-up is too easy, then try throwing weight on your back or putting something under your hands to extend the range of motion. Your next exercise here will be the row. Again, you can do this either with barbell or dumbbells. We're a little more focused on the body part that we're training than the exercise itself. And your final exercise in this group will be the seated calf raise. Again, you see me doing this in the Smith machine because I don't have an actual seated machine. Either way it works, but this will train the outside of your lower leg, the soleus, instead of the inside, the gastrocnemius. So a good idea to have a standing and seated calf raise. And that is everything, folks. That is how I managed to finally start making gains after struggling for years. I hope that's helpful. Please like and comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to hear from me next. I am Coach Ty with Muscle Wiki, and I will be seeing you with the next one. Deuces.